knew that.
But you wrote that the president's active advocacy was missing. So are you saying he didn't give it the push?
I think the kind of push and direct involvement that I think could have had an impact simply never developed, because the sense was, if they don't want it, then why should we want it?
Panetta describes a similar scenario on the question of arming the Syrian rebels in 2012. As defense secretary, he made the case to do it, as did most of the national security team. But the president never signed off, arguing the weapons could wind up in the wrong hands.
I mean, it's understandable, but at the same time, if we're going to influence the rebel forces, if we're going to try to establish a moderate element to those forces, that it was important to provide this kind of assistance in order to have some leverage over what they were going to do.
There was honest disagreement, but then no decision.
You know, to a large extent, it wasn't that the president kind of said, no, we shouldn't do it. The president kind of never really came to a decision as to whether or not it should happen.
What do you mean by that, never came to a decision?
I think it basically sat there for a while and then got to the point where everybody just kind of assumed that it was not going to happen.
Is that the right way to do things?
I think it would have been far better had he just made the decision we're not going to do it, and so that everybody kind of knew where we were. But we all kind of waited to see whether or not he would ultimately come around. And it didn't happen.
And you talk about hesitation and half steps. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, I mean, it was that kind of just hesitation to really, you know, do what needed to be done. Now,